Stars, stars everywhere. Some seem near and some seem far. The sun that shines in the day so bright, where does it wanders away at night? And the moon that dazzles to a lovely sight vanishes in the broad daylight. And the planets in the colors of blue, gold, and white change their position here and there. What could be their distance from here to there? So these are the many questions that intrigued the little boy again and again. The name of the little boy was Samanta Chandrasekhar Singh Mahapatra, who later grew up to be the famous scientist, astronomer, mathematician, and scholar who we know as Pathani Samanta. Pathani Samant was born in the year 1835 in Khandapada in Odisha. From his childhood, he was very much fascinated by the space and the elements there. He wanted to know more about the sun, the moon, the solar system, the constellations, the Milky Way, and the position of the planets and the North Star and the Saptarshi Mandal, which is the Ursa Major and all that. He just wanted to know about all of these things. And his father, of course, was an astrologer and astronomer himself who helped him answer some of his questions. But the boy was not satisfied. He wanted to find more and more. He wanted to do many more observations and get answers to all his questions. But at that time, there was no telescope. Neither was he aware of the development of such instruments in the Western countries. So, what he will do? Of course, he was from a very affluent family with a royal lineage. So, he had no dearth of books and he could manage to get all the books and he read a lot and wanted to find answers to all these questions that comes to his mind again and again. And what he did, he used a narrow bamboo pipe to measure the distance. And Pathani Samant was successful in measuring the distance between the sun and the earth using a narrow bamboo pipe, which is a very indigenous thing with which he could um, find solution to the question that was boggling his mind. And not only that, he wanted to measure the distance at which a bird is flying, the clouds, the big mountains, the height of the big mountains and the big trees. With the help of small stick and in relation to the sun's position, he could measure the height of big mountains and big trees. And they always came accurate. That was so fascinating. And he engaged in his observations day and night. He will gaze at the sky and look at the stars, their movements, and everything. And he created many indigenous instruments, like which he named as Sanku, Bhugola, and Ulambi Chakra, with which he measured the distance of the planets in the solar system and their movements he could find out. And then with the Mana Jantra, he could measure the height of the big mountains as well as the trees. So, in this way, Pathani Samant did a huge contribution in the field of astronomy and mathematical calculations. And because of his observations and all those things, he was awarded with the very prestigious award, which is known as the Mahamohopadhyaya in 1893. And all his observations and his discoveries are compiled in a book which is known as the Siddhanta Darpan. And it is written both in Sanskrit and in Odia. According to the Pathani Samant's observations and inventions, we still calculate the dates of the solar and lunar eclipse. You know, children, have you ever observed the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse? And the dates that we get to know were based on the observation that Pathani Samant had done long, long, long ago. So these were the very many discoveries he could do using only bamboo pipes and many this instruments which he had crafted by himself. In 1904, Pathani Samant passed away at the age of 69, but the world still remembers him for his beautiful contributions in the field of astronomy. And a famous thing that he had invented was the sundial clock, which is still there in the Ravensa University campus, where when the sun rays falls in a particular angle on that sundial, you could get to know the time. So that is still there, and we still celebrate Pathani Samant's life, and our government has constructed the planetarium named after him, the Pathani Samant Planetarium. And I told the story of Pathani Samant today because he's a famous scientist from Odisha. And I wanted to tell about him on this special day, which is the National Science Day today. So, children, always keep up your um, wish to discover new things in the nature itself, and you can find many beautiful things. You can create many new observations and share with your friends as well. You should develop a scientific bent of mind. Always be curious to know what, how, and why of different phenomena around you. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Happy National Science Day to all of you.